Hello again, class. We find ourselves in another Python programming video, and on this particular video what we'll do is we'll go back to strings, but what we're going to do is now slice and dice out of them. Okay, so let's get started on this. So let's go ahead and make our variable, and we're going to use a variable, let's say Python programming as our variable. Now at this point, you should know what a variable is. Basically, it's like a data holder, right? It's taking this string value and it's placing it into A. And if I do print A, it would print out the whole string. That was in the other video. But on this particular video, what we're going to talk about is positions of each character within the variable. So instead of thinking the P is in position 1, within computer Python, it actually starts at 0. So you're looking at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how we can pull that value out is using brackets and positions. So as I said before, the very beginning starts with a 0. So what we are given is that value in that position of 0. And we can continue to do that sequentially from left to right, using the positive numbers, such as this should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try 5 to see if we get our n as our value, and we do. Another thing too is that every single space is a position, so the blank space is also a position of value. So we would think that would be 6, and that's what we're given back in return, is that blank space of 6. As I said before, we can sequentially go back left to right for that. Now if we wanted to actually start backwards and understand what is my last value within this variable, a string variable, we can quickly find that out by just simply typing in a -1, because what's happening is it goes to the very end and it goes, okay, -1. What is that -1? Should provide us G here, and that's exactly what we see. Similarly, we can also do sequentially from right to left, and we're using basically negative numbers for that. So if I do 5, I come back with the M. Now that's how we can actually identify the positions within the string value on the individual characters. Why is that important? Because there's going to be some times when you're going to have information given to you and it's going to be all in one line, so kind of like the one on top. And what you would want to do is slice out only specific information from the one line. Or what you may want to do is print out specific information from the one line and rearrange that. An example of that is, let's say today's date is 09/05/2016, and it is currently 15:54, 23 seconds. If somebody looks at that single line, that's not going to make much out of it. But if you're able to go in and slice out the month, the day, the year, and then the time, even including or adding in a print colon to make it more readable, that's what this is for. This is basically, that's the idea behind it. Okay, so how do you slice one out? Basically what you would do is you would use the brackets once again, but what you're providing Python now is the beginning position and the end position, right? And what you would think automatically is, okay, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it should be 0 and 5. But it's not quite how it works, interesting enough. So let's do 0 and 5 to see what we get. We're missing the end here, and the reason is because our ending position is technically the beginning. So what happens is it'll count to 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it needs to be 6, the 6th. So it's almost like the ending position is the one position over, kind of like your negative. It's the -1. So let's do a 0, 6. And again, this is also why we continue to test to see if it comes out the way we want to. And that's how we end up actually slicing the information out of what we want and need. So that's basically how we would be able to find individual characters, with the position of each, and how we would slice out the information within our variables that we would want. Another method that we could use is called length. What it can do is it'll provide you the number of items in the container. The container is basically whatever we put in here. We could either put in some additional string like a sentence, and it'll immediately provide us back the length of that. But what I want to show you here is we want to find out how many number of items are within this variable of A. And what we do is we find out it's 18. So if we actually came up here and manually did this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because of course the blank also counts, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's 18 between the two double quotes of the string value of Python programming. So basically that's it on slice and dicing up on the strings. Basically you can go in and find the position of it, the length of it, and extract out or slice out that information from there. Let me show you one more thing. Let's go ahead and make another variables, and let's go ahead and put in that what we were talking about before. So let's do 09, 05, 2016, let's say 15:45, 23 seconds. Alright, so that doesn't mean much to us, right? But what I could do is, what is the full length of this D for one thing? There's 14 positions, or 14 in that container itself. I know that they're going to tell me the first one is the date. Alright, so the date is the date of the year. So what we could do, technically, is we can do a print, and we can do a slice of that. So let's just do print. So what we could do is we could say, for example, day equals, and then we would put in our variable and then the slice of the first couple of digits. So it would be 0, colon, and 2, right? Because remember, you have to do the ending, so it would be 0 and 1, but I want to end it right at 2. Another thing that you could do, just as a FYI, if you leave that front part blank, it'll automatically default to the very first position. Similarly, if you leave the back end of that colon blank, it will default to the very end, or the last, kind of like our -1 that we showed before. Alright, so let's do 2. And then I'm going to end that. Let's see. I'm going to put a concatenation. You know what? Let's not do a concatenation. Let's see if this will work. I think this will work. So we should pay print day, and then it should give us 09. Let's see. It does not. And we get an error. And the reason I got an error is because I did not put a concatenation down there. What does that mean? So it should have been print. Let's do day equals a plus sign like we did in the prior video. Now we'll put in our variable and the position, or slice out that piece of information that we need. And that's what we see. So this is what I was talking about before, how you can slice strings information out. So this basically printed out my day, equal sign, a little space, and then it pulled out that information. And I can do the same thing again and then just pull out month as well. It'll work the same way. So I can say month equals my plus for a concatenation, and then the position. So now it should start at 3 and end in 5, right? 3, 5, and that's 2 and 5. Gotta play with it some more. So it's 2 and 4. 05. See? But anyway, you get the idea. Slicing it is slicing that information out that you need. Again, test and practice, and then it will provide you what you would want. And when you create a program to do this automatically, you'll be given that information over and over again in this fixed format, and then you could just slice that information out and then massage it in how you want it presented to your users. That's it for this one.